Alright guys, so there was a couple questions I seen, and just a couple things in particular I've been seeing, watching YouTube, and then just what's come across in the comment section of my channel and on Facebook in the groups. I just wanted to touch on a couple of those here in this video. So there's a couple guys I see that are just getting into expediting. One of them has already went to orientation, has taken a load or two, and the other one is still in the process of getting to orientation, has put in his 2-week notice, and is about halfway through that 2-week notice, I believe. The reason I mention them is that each one of them, have gone through things as far as doing their research and, finding a fleet owner and finding the right carrier and all of those things. One of them, he recently had a fleet owner to start off with, and then as he got to know more about this fleet owner and the fleet of vans that this fleet owner owns, he come to find that there were some red flags there, as far as it seems as though the fleet owner isn't keeping up with the vehicles. He had spoken with the fleet manager of the fleet, and even that person was driving a fairly used vehicle and was in need of some repairs. So that just brings to mind that you've got to be extremely careful as a newbie getting into this, as far as like going to drive for a fleet owner. Got to really do your due diligence. And I know I've touched on it before, I've heard other people touch on it before in the groups, in videos, that if you're going to drive for a fleet owner, ask to talk to some of their current drivers. If they have a large fleet, like this person has, that they have a fleet manager, ask to talk with the fleet manager. Conversate about the vehicles they have in their fleet, how many they have in their fleet. And again, talk with some of the drivers. See, obviously you want to see what carrier they're with, but just try to have regular conversation. I guess you don't want to make it seem as though you're grilling them at the moment, which you do to an extent want to do up front, but continue to conversate over a period of time before you make that decision. And I say that, because the guy that I mentioned, as far as with the fleet owner that's not upkeeping their vehicles, he's making a switch. And I believe he's doing the right thing, because the switch he's making is to a more reputable fleet owner, somebody that's known to take care of their equipment and take care of their drivers. Haven't seen or heard much in negative about that fleet owner. The other one, I don't know at all, so I don't know too much on the one that he was going to go with. I'm just going by what he had spoken on, as far as that the vans weren't being upkept, and the fleet manager was even having an issue with his own vehicle, and it had been some time since that repair had not been made. So obviously there's red flags there. There was certain agreements that were made when he first agreed to go with that fleet owner, that the fleet owner started backpedaling on. So those are things you just got to be careful. And you're never going to get 100% on this, but at least you can try to conversate over a period of time. Some of these fleet owners are going to rush you to take the position, just so they can put a body in there, and then they ain't got to worry about it no more. Don't let anybody pressure you into taking the position. If that position disappears by the time you feel comfortable taking that position, now that's by saying don't take a month, don't take a couple of weeks. Take a week maybe, to feel it out, to take your time to really feel it out, because I do understand at the same time these fleet owners don't want to have their vans empty for too long, because they're still paying for these vans usually, so they want to get them filled as quickly as possible. But a matter of a few days up to a week, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. If they're trying to pressure you to that point, then maybe you don't need to be with them anyhow. And I say that, and I don't say that to say keep jumping around. I'm saying it to say that's why you want to do your due diligence and do as much research as you possibly can, so that you aren't going and jumping around, because you do kind of get a bad reputation or be seen kind of negatively if you continue to jump from fleet owner to fleet owner. The way you're going to get as much insight as you can, I know not everybody likes to be on Facebook, but you need to be on Facebook groups, all the expediting Facebook groups. As I said, I'm the co-founder, along with my brother and a few other guys, that or drivers that open up a Facebook group. It's called Transportation Life, Wheels, Wings, Rudders. There's several other expediting groups. If you just go onto Facebook and put in the word expediting or expedite, you'll be able to find a group. Get into all of them. I'm in as many as I can get into. I want to keep track of as much as I can. I want as much information as I can. There's also Expeditors Online, and Expeditors is spelled O-R, not E-R. They have a forum and classified ads on there as well. I encourage you to get on there as well. I don't like the site because of the way the forums are ran, but at the same time, it is information. It is another tool to help, educate yourself on things, and to basically network. As I said, talk to drivers, ask for drivers that are currently driving. Just do as much as you can. YouTube videos. I mean, just everything you can. Get as much information as you can before you come out. That's how you're going to go about getting that information, is the ways I just told you. I wish I would have known about all those things. Now, granted, I love what I'm doing, and I knew I would love being out here on the road, but it would have helped me a great deal on certain things if I had known about Facebook, been on Facebook, or been on Expeditors Online, or YouTube videos. YouTube videos and Facebook are probably the two biggest points of information, to be able to gather information. YouTube especially, I felt, just because you have some drivers, not a lot of van drivers doing videos, but you see people doing videos which will show you their vans, which will then lead you to another video to research this and this and this and that, and you'll just be able to get all the information that you want based on just continuing to watch videos. So YouTube was definitely the first. Okay, on to the next thing. I did a Q&A, and I believe I answered it in the Q&A. I'm going to answer it again. This time I'm going to put it on the title of the video, just because I still get the same question, even though I've put it in other videos, and I get it that they're not going to be able to find the exact video that's got that information in it. So, but anyhow, it's, do you need a CDL to do expediting in a van? That answer is mostly no, you do not. But for the most part, it's not required to have a CDL or a medical card to drive in a van. A van is under 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, so that means that as long as what your load is, the weight of everything in your van, the weight of the van, as long as you do not exceed 10,000 pounds, you do not need a CDL, you do not need to log, because that's the other part of the question. Do you have to run logs? No logs are required as long as we're under 10,000 pounds. That's payload and the weight of the vehicle combined. As far as to my understanding, as long as you're under 26,000 pounds, might be dependent on a certain type of vehicle that you might have to have a CDL if you're under 26, but I believe for the most part, under 26,000 pounds, you don't need a CDL, but above 10,000 and below 26,000, you have to at least log. But you do not need a CDL for under 26,000, especially the vans. As I said, CDL is only required by maybe one or two, I think one. Medical card is required by a few, but overall, 90-some% of the carriers out there do not require a CDL nor a medical card. Alright guys, so I'm still sitting at home. I know the videos have been coming out kind of sporadic. I apologize for that. Just been kind of spending time home, man. Like I said, this is the most time I've had home in 8 years, so just been kind of enjoying it. Hoping within after about the next week, I should be getting back onto more of a regular schedule. I have some things planned to get into and to put some videos up about. So I'm going to get out of here for now, man. You guys take care and be safe out there if you guys are out there on the road, man.